In order to dissuade my blind date, I lied about being pregnant with my boss child. Unexpectedly, my boss and company colleagues happened to be right behind me. Scared, I stumbled. Old boss. He glanced at me lightly. Be careful. Don't strain yourself. Recently, my mom did not know where to be stimulated. From relatives to collect a bunch of information about the best men. Non-compulsory to force me and their blind date. I've already met the third one this weekend. I hope Miss Lynn you can quit your job and concentrate on prepare for pregnancy at home. I earn $8,000 a month. As long as we usually save a little. You don't learn from those vain women. Buy so many clothes, shoes, bags, cosmetics. Life is completely enough. I smiled and looked at the opposite side of the arrogant man with a receding hairline who had been talking at length for 10 minutes. If it wasn't for the fact that he was introduced to me by a relative, I would have wanted to rip the hairpiece off his head and slap him in the face. Oh yes. I am also quite busy at work. Wedding and so on. Don't make a big event. These forms are not meaningful. My college classmate recently opened a photography studio. Wedding photos to his place when the time comes to shoot. So you can also save a lot of unnecessary open vomit. What's wrong with you? My sudden dry heaving finally made him stop. You're not feeling well? I wanted to say. No. Is it because this restaurant doesn't cook clean? There's something I think I should tell you. I'm pregnant. Huh? Accompanied by a noise behind me. The man across from me also stood up in shock. You're pregnant and still came on a blind date? I pretended to be sad. I have no choice. The baby is actually my boss. Suddenly behind me came a coughing sound. I did not pay too much attention. Fully engaged in the emotions. Alas. I did not expect him to be so crummy. Know that I'm pregnant on the dump me. But also forced me to terminate the pregnancy. You say that he is a big boss. How can I resist him? The opposite side of the Mediterranean Sea was already too shocked to speak. I tactically drank a mouthful of water and looked at him pitifully. Mr. Jean. Since you want to marry me, then the baby should be something you'd be happy to accept as well. Right? Isn't your mom in a hurry to have a grandchild? Isn't there a ready-made one here? Light laughter came from behind him. And the man in front of him was flustered to the naked eye. No. No. Miss Lynn. Your mom didn't tell me about your pregnancy either. You guys hide such a big thing. It's not good. My mom doesn't know. Don't tell her. Miss Lynn. I don't think we're a good match. He picked up his bag and wanted to leave. I got up and gestured to stop him. Why? Didn't you just say you'd get a license next week? His face sank. His eyes with disgust. Miss Lynn. I heard that you work as a secretary in a large company. I thought you were different from others. Is it clean? I did not realize that the private life of such a misbehavior. But also unmarried, first pregnant. Our family won't accept a woman like you. I was hurt as I watched him leave. And before I could release the smile on my face, I turned back to meet a pair of meaningful eyes. Frightened. I stumbled. My entire body froze. And my back drew cold. Old boss. Days. Can someone tell me why the boss is at the table behind me? How long has he been here? Couldn't have heard everything just now. Could he? He raises his eyebrows slightly. Not in a hurry. Be careful. Don't strain yourself. I heard him. I was in tears. I was thinking about whether or not to kneel down and apologize when the person sitting opposite him turned around. Hi. Secretary Lynn? I almost passed out with my eyes open. It was Liam Todd. It's Liam Todd. I feel like I'm in big trouble. Liam Todd is known as a blabbermouth. If he hears me, then the whole company will know about it. No. I have to explain. Director Todd. This is a misunderstanding. I was just kidding. Don't think too much about it. There is absolutely no relationship between me and my boss. Don't talk nonsense in the company. Liam Todd gave me a sympathetic look. And then looked at Jason Miller with a scummy look on his face. I see. Get what? He looked my stomach up and down. Commiserations. Director Todd. I'm really not pregnant. Secretary Lynn. Don't stand there. Standing for a long time is not good for the fetus. Come and sit down. Me. I told you I'm not pregnant. Why doesn't this person believe me? I explained stiffly to Jason Miller. Boss? It's okay. Have a seat. That's not what I meant. What? He smiled. The way he smiled made me apprehensive. Especially since I had just done something wrong. It's okay. Not daring to be disobedient. I cautiously tried to sit next to Liam Todd. But he stopped me. There are people here. You sit next to Simin. Someone else? I hesitantly looked at Jason Miller. Come over here. His smile sent chills down my back straight away. Jason Miller is the most vindictive person in the world. He's probably thinking of something bad right now. Right? I reluctantly took my seat. He poured me a glass of water. And as I was about to take it, he took it away. Oh. I forgot. It's iced. You can't drink it when you're pregnant. My eyes widened in horror. What was he talking about? Don't look at me like that or people will think I really don't want this baby. Off to the side, Liam Todd sucked in a nosy breath. His eyes full of the excitement of having eaten a melon. When will you? Before I could finish my question, there was the sound of something hitting the ground not far away. I sniffed and looked over. Laura Sinclair? Why is she there? Did you hear everything? I heard that Jason Miller and Laura Sinclair are childhood friends. And both families have a long-standing engagement. Am I a mistress for ruining people's relationship? There you are. You're always late. Liam Todd complained jokingly. Laura Sinclair smiled a little reluctantly. Secretary Lynn is here too? She said as she gracefully walked over and sat next to Liam Todd. The only empty seat in the room. Why didn't you guys tell me beforehand that Secretary Lynn would be here? I glanced at Jason Miller, who was not going to explain. And in order to avoid any misunderstanding, I took the initiative to speak. I'm here for a blind date today. And I just ran into my boss and the others here. Blind date? She looked surprised. Yes. I've reached my age. My family is urging me to get married. I felt a cold aura from the side. And the sharp line of sight made me feel weak. My hand moved to find something to drink to ease the relief. Secretary Lynn is so pretty and capable. The blind date should go well. Right? It's okay. But I have to go see two more later. I have said to this point. You cannot misunderstand my life. Honest. Law-abiding. Acting frankly and openly. Cannot intend to intervene in anyone's feelings. She gave me a strange look. And then looked at Jason Miller. Half a long time. Laughed softly. And spoke tentatively. I just heard you guys say children. What does this mean? I immediately brushed it off. I was joking with the boss. There's no such thing as kids. Jason Miller calmly handed me a drink of some kind. And I was surprised that he had noticed my little action. I was thirsty. So I took a sip without thinking. Unexpectedly. I naturally do not like to eat sweet. This drink just sweet to greasy. I couldn't hold back. And dry heaved a few times. The two people on the other side of the table were shocked. Are you okay? I waved my hand as I resisted the urge to vomit. I'm fine. Liam Todd thought of something. His attitude changed from flustered to flirtatious. Secretary Lynn should pay attention to her diet in the future. Jason Miller also patted my back gently and considerately. Is it too sore? He looked helpless. I told you not to drink so many sour drinks lately. But you didn't listen. I looked at him with confusion. When did I? Just as I was about to retort. My eyes fell on the coffee spoon resting in his hand and froze. Almost instantly I figured it out. I said the drink smelled heavily of granulated sugar. He poured all the sugar into the drink just now. He's such a meanie. I'm just using him for a little while. Why are you still holding on to him? What's wrong? You're blushing? Are you hot? He looked innocent. I was so angry that I gritted my teeth. But after all, the other party is the leader. And just now I did make up behind his back. And he is so vindictive. Retaliation. It is nothing. Forget it. I'll put up with it. It's fine. I am not smiling. Opposite Liam Todd gossip eyes are going to fall down. You usually hide it really well. In the company for so many years. I did not see it at all. I decided to swing for the fences. Not explaining. Just a shy smile. Laura Sinclair is still there. I'd like to see how he's going to explain. I've always kept my public and private affairs separate. I looked at him with wide eyes. What was with Jason Miller today? Taken over? Knowing him for 5 years. Although I know that he is a person who loves to tidy people up. But the boundaries are still there. Today how? Maybe he could see my doubts. Jason Miller leaned over and whispered in my ear. I don't want Laura Sinclair to have illusions about me. You help me solve her. I'll forgive you for what happened just now. I was surprised. How do I settle it? You are my secretary. Why do you need me to teach you such a small thing? Is it possible that you're really a fool when you're pregnant? I choked with anger. However, the 2 men on the other side of the room were still staring at us and whispering. Laura Sinclair's face got worse. I inwardly hesitated for a moment. And finally, for the sake of my career, I still hardened my heart and suddenly tapped Jason Miller's shoulder. And without waiting for him to react, I leaned on his shoulder with a shy and pretentious look. Oops. You're impossible. How did you say it? I could feel Jason Miller stiffen and look at me with a black face. Liam Todd on the other side of the room also had a choked-up look of horror on his face. I'm out of it. I've lost all my face. But what started is started. So let's destroy it completely. Yes. We are having a baby. I had a valiant face to die for and didn't dare look at everyone's expressions. So I didn't see the upturned corners of Jason Miller's mouth. Across the room Laura Sinclair's face went white and her hand was shaking as she held the glass. But it accidentally flowed. After a pause, I explained, feigning concern. It had nothing to do with him. It was my accident. Well, very good. There is a desire to cover up that flavor. Jason Miller tilted his head and looked at me, seemingly smiling. I feel weak. Busy changing the topic. Director Todd. Mr. Lon. After all, Mingming and I are in an office romance. So I have to trouble you to keep it a secret for us. Mingming? Liam Todd's tone changed. What's wrong? Nothing. Liam Todd gulped. I have some business to attend to. So I'll be off. Laura Sinclair finally sat up and looked at Jason Miller several times as she got up, presumably waiting for him to retain her. However, Jason Miller did not seem to see, only looked down at me tenderly. Honey, later I send you back? Honey, who are you trying to disgust? Laura Sinclair left. I sat back down. Liam Todd sighed. You guys are really good at this. But Simon, since Secretary Lynn is your girlfriend, do you still use people like dogs in the company? No. How can you say that? Who is a dog? Exploiting my weekends. Working overtime with you every day. Accompanying you on business trips. Director Todd said without knowing what came to his mind. His eyes changed. Good eye you kid. People still say that you're a straight man who is unenlightened. But I dare say that you're even better than me. Liam Todd's brain circuit I a little cannot keep up. But when it comes to squeezing my off-duty time, I actually did not get very angry. Because Jason Miller, although this person is a very dog, work requirements are very high. But the overtime pay he gave is really much Moreover, accompanying him on business trips is actually not very tiring. Airplanes, hotels, food. And he and I are treated equally. Ask which boss can be as generous as him? When Liam Todd left. I don't know. Jason Miller called me when it was already just the 2 of us. Let's go. Take you back. Just don't bother. Why? Do you have a schedule? His pale eyes shot over. And to meet the remaining 2 men? 2 men? I froze for a moment before remembering what I had just put off Laura Sinclair. No. Going to the reunion. I'll give you a ride. I was horrified. No. I was just saying that. I didn't intend to actually go. I'm not going to go. Boss? You're pretty busy. Right? I can't take up your personal time. I'll just go by myself. It's not like I haven't given you a ride before. Are you suddenly so polite? He narrowed his eyes slightly. Is it possible that Secretary Lin has done something wrong to me and is feeling weak? I smiled awkwardly. Of course not. I smiled awkwardly. Of course not. I couldn't push back. In the end, I could only be forced to follow him to the car. But the reunion. I really do not intend to go. High school graduation so many years. I did not go once to participate in their organization of the party. But this year's Campus Man of the Year Yue Yang had come to participate in. I also go to participate. They must be more than think I am for him. After all, when I confessed to be rejected, thing made everyone know. Everyone knows I like Yue Yang. Alas. Getting into the car. I once looked at the WeChat interface in the phone, frowned. Once looked out the window and sighed. All to the party location I still did not realize. Jason Miller unbuckled his seatbelt and bounced off my head. I was shocked back to my soul. How? What happened? He was speechless. Here we are. Oh. Thanks, boss. See you, boss. I honestly get out of the car. I was thinking of waiting for him to leave. And then I sneak away. Who would have thought that I just got off the car and ran into my high school classmate? Lin Quinn. You're really here. I can't believe it's been 7 years since I've seen you. How did you recognize me? We were discussing whether you'd come or not. And sure enough, when we heard that Yue Yang is back in China, you came right away. You've gotten prettier and prettier after 7 years. When Yue Yang sees you later, he'll probably regret rejecting you back then. Haha. A few people laughed and joked. But I just want them to shut up. Do they think they are very humorous? They seem to have just discovered the car beside me. And without seeing it, surrounded me to look at it. This is an expensive car. Lin Quinn. You've been doing well all these years. He said. Seeing Jason Miller in the car. Zhang Tianyi hesitated a little. Your boyfriend sent you here? I awkwardly looked at Jason Miller in the car. And for a moment I didn't know whether to deny or acquiesce. Zhang Tianyi is Yue Yang's high school buddy. And the rest of the people knew about me and Yue Yang back then. Probably waiting to see my jokes tonight. I don't want to be there after dinner talk. I didn't want to be the talk of the town. Jason Miller got out of the car and walked over to me and put his arm around my shoulder. I didn't even have time to be shocked. But he already said. First time I've met you guys. I'm Lin Quinn's boyfriend. Jason Miller. I looked at him wide-eyed and he returned my meaningful smile. There's never been a moment when I've been so glad that he can read people's minds. Usually I get depressed and sometimes even angry whenever he reads my mind. But this time, with just one look, he immediately understood my difficulties and helped me regardless of the past. And I'm quite touched. It's not in vain that I've been bowing and scraping for the company for so many years. The crowd was no less shocked than I was. And there was silence for a long time before they snapped and greeted me. Yue Yang appeared at this time, accompanied by my high school best friend Su Mingyao. Both of them froze for a moment when they saw me. Probably because they didn't expect me to come. After all, I said in the group before that I wouldn't go. When Yue Yang's eyes fell on Jason Miller beside me, he was a bit surprised to see Jason Miller with his arm around me. Looking at Jason Miller, he wanted to say, "Are you?" But Jason Miller coldly glanced at him. He did not say anything. Just complex look at me. I don't understand. Shallow. Long time no see. Su Mingyao pretended to greet me. I glanced at her, not really wanting to talk to her. Long time no see. She didn't care and just looked at Jason Miller. This? Your friend? Huh? I faintly Also do not care if Jason Miller will not mind. Directly pull him into the. Behind me also vaguely heard Zhang Tianyi. They joked. You two this same university. And go abroad together. And now also come back together. It will not. You this vision. Really is. Poor Can. But he has a good eye. Rejected you. With just the two of us around. Jason Miller was getting pissed off again. I glanced at his hand still wrapped around my shoulder. Guess he didn't realize? Boss? No one's around. You can let go now. Are you sure? He raises an eyebrow. Looks like someone doesn't need me to do her a favor. When he reminded me of this, I reacted and immediately changed my face to curry favor. Boss? Can you do me a favor tonight? He looked disgusted. Secretary Lin. You're being too realistic. Flattering and pleasing me when you need me. And when you don't need me. I was wrong. I had a good attitude. Boss? As long as you promise to pretend to be my boyfriend tonight, I will do whatever you want me to do in the future. And I definitely won't dare to complain. He looked reluctant. Okay. I always sympathize with my employees. So I'll help you this time. I laughed inwardly and smiled with a pleasing face. But Secretary Lin, I can't see that you are so infatuated. I said I haven't seen you have a boyfriend for so many years. So it's because you are unforgettable to your old love? I looked at him with a smile on my face. Boss? I haven't had a boyfriend for so many years. Isn't it because of you? Me? He looked down at me. A strange light flashing in his pupils. Of course it's you. If it wasn't for you always making me work overtime, would I have no time to meet new people? Looks like Secretary Lin is blaming me. Alas. Just now I said I wouldn't have any complaints in the future. When I brought Jason Miller into the box, everyone looked over as if they knew in advance. Curious and gossipy. I only felt a chill on my back. Looking at the whole room. Yui Yang and a few of them had arrived long ago. Lin Quinn. Haven't seen you for so many years. Looks like you're doing well. I heard from Tiani and the others that your boyfriend drove you here in a multi-million-dollar luxury car. It only took a few minutes for everyone to realize that I had brought my boyfriend with me. So it seems that Zhang Tiani and the others didn't miss out on the publicity. Lin Quinn. What does your boyfriend do? The richest and best person here is Mr. Yes, heartthrob. I wonder who is richer compared to your boyfriend. The words just fell. I heard Jason Miller beside me lightly laughed. That is a kind of as if heard what a joke like laugh. Thought I heard wrong. I looked up to him. But saw him looking at Yui Yang. Yui Yang, on the other hand, seemed a bit afraid to look directly at his gaze. In the Heart Week? Not me. You're not paying for which gold digger to pretend to be your boyfriend. Right? Seeing that I kept quiet. The one who picked a fight came. The one who spoke was Fu Lin, who had been at odds with me since high school. I looked at Jason Miller worriedly. He looked at me with a smirk. Gold digger? I smiled bitterly. Go back to. He raised his eyebrows and whispered in my ear. I'll talk to you when I get back. Fu Lin saw himself being ignored. Annoyed. Before every reunion you do not come. This time Yang and Meng Yao. You also came. But also with a boyfriend. It is difficult not to let people think more than you to Yui Yang is still unforgettable. But do not want to lose face. So go to which bar to find a gold digger to pretend to be a boyfriend. Suddenly Yui Yang looked over with complicated eyes. Lin Quinn and I are just ordinary friends. She already has a boyfriend. Don't joke around. Everyone was shocked. Yang. You've changed. You're actually helping Lin Quinn? Zhang Tiani also teased. What's wrong with you? You've been out of shape since just now. What's wrong? You've just returned to China. You returnee are still not quite used to the country? Yui Yang glanced at Jason Miller and said nothing. It was Su Mengyao who spoke up. Don't give him a hard time. Yang just returned to China today and immediately went to pay a visit to his uncle's family. Came out and came here. Really can't rest for a moment. You all know that his uncle is the Ji family. Stop it. Yui Yang suddenly interrupted with a stern voice. Then glanced uncomfortably at Jason Miller. Su Mengyao was a little aggravated. However, someone around her spoke up. Yang. You are related to the Ji family. My cousin is ready to graduate and has been wanting to get into the Ji family. I wonder if you can help broker a relationship? Yui Yang's eyes fluttered as he looked at Jason Miller several times. JIS Group has always advocated fairness and hates pull strings. This matter. I can't help you. I can't help you with this. It's not that I'm overthinking it. There aren't many JIS groups in our city. I turned my head to look at Jason Miller. He is not in a hurry. Obviously let him come to pretend to be a boyfriend. To support the scene. But the result is that he began to watch the drama. Hey, by the way. I heard that the current chairman of JIS Group is quite young and talented. Does anyone know the name? Someone suddenly opened his mouth in curiosity. Yui Yang just wanted to speak. Was Su Mengyao grabbed the first. Is he Yang's cousin? Jason Miller. Yang and he in foreign study or the same school at. He than Yang older than 3. In school is also a man of the moment. Or 2 outstanding graduates graduated. Jason Miller? Jason Miller. This name sounds familiar. Someone muttered. I was surprised to see someone beside me. Before I could ask. Zhang Tianyi exclaimed. Coincidence is not Lin Quinn. Your boyfriend is also called Jason Miller. As the words fell out of his mouth. He thought of something. And his expression suddenly froze for a moment. The crowd looked at Jason Miller with complicated expressions. Someone asked cautiously. Are you that Mr. G? Jason Miller glanced at Yui Yang. His thin lips slowly pulled back a teasing arc. You can ask him. The crowd was in shock. What is this? Yui Yang's face paled. Mr. G. What do you call Mr. G? Aren't you saying behind my back that he's my cousin? Jason Miller smiled. Yui Yang's body cooled down in a flash. Wanting to speak. Jason Miller looked at him sarcastically. Yui Yang. Because your father is my father's driver. So our family sponsored you to study abroad. When did I become your cousin? The crowd was shocked at these words. What does Mr. G mean by that? I was shocked too. What kind of dramatic bridge is this? No way. No way. It can't be what I think it is. Right? Mr. G. Aren't you Yang's cousin? Isn't there some kind of misunderstanding? Su Mengyao couldn't laugh anymore. Originally, she was thinking of showing off in front of Lin Quinn today. But who would have thought that? Yui Yang didn't explain anything and ran out. Su Mengyao also has no face to stay any longer. Unwillingly glared at me. Also ran away. The big guys were stunned for a long time. But also guessed the truth. Shocked. So the identity of the school god with a good family and good grades was a fake? In the past, I always saw him being sent to school by the G family's driver. And thought that he was really a relative of the G family. But his father was the driver? After being kept in the dark for so long. When I thought that just now everyone was laughing at Lin Quinn and questioning whether her boyfriend was a rented gold digger. I suddenly started to get apprehensive. Fu Lin was the first one to get scared. Shallow. I was just kidding. Don't mind. I glanced at her. It's fine. I looked at her. It's okay. I looked at the crowd again. My boyfriend just sent me here. He has something to do later. So we won't stay much longer. Come on. It's hard to come here. You haven't shown up in 7 years. Everyone hasn't had a chance to catch up with you. Everyone was getting enthusiastic. But I knew they were after Jason Miller. I was dragged away and looked at Jason Miller with difficulty. My intention was to ask him to relieve me and take me away. After all, no one dares to stop the chairman of the G group. But he acted as if he didn't understand. It's hard to pass up the hospitality. So don't spoil everyone's fun. Asahi. In the end, we were dragged to our seats. After we were seated, we all tried to ingratiate ourselves with Jason Miller. Asking questions. Mainly to find out how Jason Miller and I met and how long we have been dating. Jason Miller was very patient and answered all the questions. Though his answers were all made up. When I was still a senior in high school had met me by chance a few times and fell in love with me at first sight. But he was preparing to study abroad that year. So he didn't come to see me. And then as soon as he came back to China, he came to see me and pursued me fiercely. I admired his ability to make up stories when I saw everyone giving me envious looks one by one. In fact, Jason Miller and I met when I was a junior in college. I was bored in the summer and wanted to get an internship. But I met a scammer and almost signed a contract loan. Jason Miller is this time appeared. A demolition of that scammer. But also put me mocked a pass. Said I have no brain. Stupid. Later. I don't know what kind of bad karma it was. But I kept running into him on and off campus. He often came to our school as an investor. And the head of the hospital heard from somewhere that he and I knew each other. And every time he came over, he asked me to receive. We got to know each other very well. Although he is not very pleasant to talk to. Often dislike me. But also really in my academic career as well as after graduation in the job-seeking career have given very good guidance and advice. We are superior and subordinate. But also a friend. At least I think so. Otherwise, I can't make up every blind date with him. 3 years ago, I didn't want to say yes to him for Keys Group. But I had interviews all over the place and finally had to accept pull strings. I'm still confused. My grades in our college are the best in my major. So why didn't I pass the interview? Lynn Quinn. When you get married, remember to call us old classmates. I was just out of my mind for a while. How did I get to talking about marriage? I awkwardly glanced at Jason Miller. Who didn't change his face. Mr. G. When are you going to propose? They asked tentatively. But I knew them well enough to know by their expressions that they thought Jason Miller wasn't going to marry me and was just playing around. It depends on when shallow lets go. I'm up for whenever. Yo. This Jason Miller is giving me too much face. I smiled unprevaricated. There's no rush. Take your time. How can I not be in a hurry? Shallow. I can't wait. I can't wait a moment longer. I want to marry you. Accompanied by the uproar of the crowd. His clear eyes looked straight at me. And I froze for a moment. Surprisingly. For a moment I couldn't tell if what he said was true or not. And almost believed it. My heart messed up for a beat. There was a delay of over an hour before I finally sought the opportunity to take Jason Miller away. Had a few drinks at the party and couldn't drive. So I skillfully sat in the driver's seat. I wanted to take him straight home. But he said he wanted to get some air. So I had to show him around. If I had known that I would meet someone I had been on a blind date with before, I would never have agreed to Jason Miller coming out for a walk. As soon as Li Chi saw me, he ran over to me enthusiastically. Lynn Quinn. Who's this? Jason Miller was a little drunk and his brain seemed a little unclear. Her boyfriend. Jason Miller. Before I could be shocked, Li Ji said. Jason Miller? Oh. You guys made up? Lynn Quinn. I was worried about you when you said your boss told you to terminate the pregnancy. Now that you've made up, surely he'll take responsibility for you and the baby. Right? Me. I have no more. Feeling a sharp line of sight falling on my face. I hated to lower my head to the ground. Li Ji left. I also wanted to leave. But was pulled by Jason Miller. Explain? I smiled stiffly. Boss? Would you believe me if I said it was a misunderstanding? His blazing deep eyes stared at me without blinking. It seems like you haven't made up a lot of stories about me behind my back. I've met 2 of them today alone. Tell me. How many more? Boss? I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'll do it again next time. The main reason is that my mom is always forcing me to go on blind dates. And this is a really good reason to do so. Are you pregnant with my child? No. I dumped you to terminate the pregnancy? That's so wrong. You've made me guilty of so many things for nothing. If I don't follow through, I'll be sorry for the story you've concocted. Implemented? I looked up. His pair of black eyes are strange. Deep. Lynn Quinn. Inexplicably. My heart beat out of rhythm. I didn't drink tonight. Why is my heart beating so fast? I'm hungry. Buy me dinner. He said suddenly. I breathed a sigh of relief. It looked like this was over. But it was getting late. A lot of restaurants are closed at this time of the day. I walked him around and ended up having to go to a stall. Good thing he didn't care. You can't come to a big stall and not have a drink. But boss, I still have to drive. It's okay. I'll ask Secretary Lee to drive. Okay. He did me a big favor today. And am making up for it behind his back. However, I really can't hold my liquor. Jason Miller never lets me socialize. So I got a little carried away before I had a few drinks. When I was pulled into the car, I began to spit on him uncontrollably. And his face turned black. However, at this time, I am high on the head. One time to scold him small-minded. One time to say that he is poisonous tongue without empathy. One time to say that he is oppressive. Even if I scolded him, I also took advantage of him and made him call me dad. Even said to the back. I also moved up the hand. I pinched his face. Said what the skin smooth and tender. Is quite gold digger. Secretary Lee, who was driving the car, drove the whole way with fear and trembling. And after arriving at Jason Miller's house, he saw me being taken away by Jason Miller. And he even pinched a sweat for me. The moment the lights came on, I raised my eyes to see a pair of nearby scintillating eyes. That palpitating feeling came back. I blinked. And I didn't know where the impulse came from to suddenly go up to them. Those bright eyes were full of shock. And then gradually deepened. It was an unfamiliar but mesmerizing feeling. And I was dizzy. Only feeling the sky spinning as if I was being held and moving. 2 sharp kicks at the door and my vision plunged into darkness. The sound of rapid breathing lingering in my ears. I'll give you 3 seconds to regret it. And I'll stop when you say so. What does that mean? I can't understand. Who am I? How do I know when it's so dark? Somewhat dissatisfied with the other party's dilly-dallying. I was quite grumpy. Jason Miller. Are you okay? As soon as I finished speaking, my breath was taken away again. I don't know when. I regained my breath. And something faintly came from my ears. Not prepared. Not today. When I woke up, it was already dawn. Looking at the room full of wreckage. The throbbing brain suddenly flooded with memories of last night. My body instantly cooled a large part. I had gotten drunk last night and forcibly kissed Jason Miller. Scrambling, I looked down at the clothes I was wearing. They weren't mine. It was changed? Who changed it? I scratched my head frantically. I don't remember what happened after the kiss last night. I didn't really sleep with Jason Miller. Did I? Not finding my clothes in my room. I hurriedly got up and went out the door and was just about to yell for Jason Miller when I saw an elegant middle-aged woman in the living room. Jason Miller, his mom. I was so shocked that I almost giggled. Auntie G. Aunt G also came back from her surprise and looked me up and down. Noticing my dress and the hickey on my neck, she showed a hint of embarrassment. Did I come at a bad time? I was embarrassed. No. Please sit down. What should I say? I'm not sure what to say. But I'm not sure what to say. 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 Will she think I'm frivolous and not self-respecting? Help. You're up? Jason Miller's flat voice came from the balcony. I breathed a sigh of relief and looked at him for help. However, he calmly hangs up the phone and gently explains. Mom. I forgot to tell you earlier. There's someone at home. Me. I really admired Jason Miller's thick skin and mental strength. At this point in time, why does he still act as if the situation in front of him is no big deal? What did you come to see me about today? Mother G glanced at me. Originally, I heard something from Xiaoliang. So I wanted to come to you to ask. But now it seems that there's no need. After a pause, she looked at my stomach with a complicated expression. In these first few months, you guys shouldn't mess around too much. The first few months? Got it. Mom. Don't just say that. Look at the girl. She's got a good body. Jason Miller didn't do anything about his mother's sudden anger. But I was shocked. Mother realized that scared me. And then hurriedly toned gentle. Lynn's secret. When are your parents free? Our two families always have to meet. My brain is still in the dark. I don't dare to ask Mother in return. I can only look at Jason Miller suspiciously. However, He came over and put his arm around my shoulders. Mom. This is not urgent. It's not urgent. It's been a few months since I got pregnant and it's still not urgent. You want to wait for other girls to get pregnant before you wear a wedding dress. Mrs. G got cranky again. I finally understood. It turns out that Mrs. G had misunderstood, thinking that I was pregnant with Jason Miller's child. I hurriedly explained. Auntie. This matter is a misunderstanding. I'm not pregnant. My boss and I are not in the kind of relationship you think we are. However, Mother G had a look on her face like look at what's on you before you speak. I was speechless. The doorbell suddenly rang. I looked at Jason Miller beside me in alarm. Why does his family keep coming over today? I'll get the door. G's mother and I stood in silence in the living room, staring at each other. Seconds later, however, there came my mom's hefty roar. Lynn Quinn. You can't help it. It's not enough for you to stay out at night. You're living in someone else's house. I looked to the door and froze in shock. Mom. When my mom saw the clothes on my body and the marks on my neck, she didn't care if it was someone else's house or not. And didn't care if there were any outsiders around. She came up and wanted to beat me up, scaring me so much that I fled in all directions. Mom. Let's talk this over. Mom. Let's go back and talk about this. I was so humiliated. Jason Miller and Mrs. Key came over to stop me. And the four of us got into a mess. Later, when we sat down to talk calmly, I realized that my mom had called me many times. And Jason Miller answered the phone for fear that she would be worried. And gave her the address. In-laws. I was just about to say I'd like to pay you a visit sometime. G's mother was the first to make a decent noise. However, my mom didn't appreciate it. Who is your in-law's mother? I was on pins and needles. Pulled her sleeve. Whispered to discourage. Mom. This is my boss and his mother. You are polite. Go back and I'll explain. To you. In-law's mother. This can't be delayed. Shallow is already pregnant. This marriage must be put on the agenda sooner. Seeing my mom's eyes widen. I know I'm finished. This matter is out of the question. I can't explain it anymore. In-laws. Do you think we should go out and talk alone? Asahi just woke up. You should let her clean up a bit. In fact, her heart is a little unsure. After all, his own son before the wedding to engage an adult girl's stomach is really rude. Hearing this, my mom looked at me. And then looked at Jason Miller. Before finally looking at G mother. Okay. We go out to talk. The two went out. I crumpled onto the sofa behind me. Looked up and saw Jason Miller actually still laughing. Suddenly angry. Boss? This matter you are not prepared to explain? He raised an eyebrow. A little innocent. What am I supposed to explain? Aren't you the one who spread the rumor about the pregnancy? That's true. And I still haven't settled the score with you for taking advantage of me last night when you were drunk. I blushed white and red. A little embarrassed. So we really slept together last night? Guess? He raised an eyebrow. The corner of his mouth smiling demurely and seductively. I was a little unsure in my heart. He also had a hickey on his neck. This must be my doing. I'm drunk. I don't remember. Anyway. You don't lose out. Otherwise. How do you not suffer? He suddenly took out his cell phone and showed me a WeChat interface. It was the company group. Liam Todd, that blabbermouth. From last night onwards in the group with a loud hailer like saying Jason Miller is ready to become a father. Now the whole company knows. Although they didn't say the baby's mom is me. Ah shucks. Didn't say my name. But this paper can't wrap the fire. Just look at Jason Miller's mom. Don't you think you're responsible for me suddenly becoming a father? Where am I going to make a baby out of nothing? I cried. How can I be responsible? I'm not really pregnant. It's not too late to make one. Huh? He suddenly moved closer. His blazing deep eyes gazing at me unblinkingly. Last night. Secretary Lynn was very enthusiastic. So I can't say that I won't hit it in one go? I miserably white face. No. It can't be? He quietly looked at me for a long time. Straight to my heart to see suspended in midair. And suddenly laughed out softly. So you really do not remember? Uh-huh. I'm just kidding. Nothing happened last night. I was surprised. Really? He raised his eyebrows and got up. Secretary Lin. You look too much like a scumbag when you put on your clothes and then deny it. But when it comes to clothes, I'm getting torn again. Since we didn't have anything last night. My clothes. I changed them. I cried. I'm in deep shit. I don't remember anything. Even if I did take advantage of him last night. It's not like I have any memory of it. I didn't experience anything. And I was even shown the light by the other person. You threw up all over last night. Even my bed got dirty. What can I do if I don't change your clothes? He was a bit helpless and paused. If you want to feel disadvantaged, then I'll take off my clothes for you now too. He said that he was about to take off his clothes. I was so scared that I rushed to stop him. My mom and Jis' mother came in at this time. And when they saw the intense interaction between Jason Miller and I on the sofa, they froze in place with unanimous silence. And then spoke with unanimous silence. You guys are busy. So we'll leave first. Jason Miller glanced at the reclosed door of the room. The current situation. Secretary Lin wants to get out in one piece. I'm afraid it's impossible. I was anxious. What should we do then? Get married? Really? There's no need to act so expectant. Almost suspecting that he likes me. I don't even know how I got out of Jason Miller's house. But I ran away for sure. I didn't even have time to change my clothes. I ran in his loungewear. However, after I ran out, I was annoyed again. Why did I run away? Don't we still have to meet tomorrow Monday? I am his secretary. When I got home, my mom was on the phone to the 3 aunts and 6 grandmothers. And the content of the chat was that I was going to get married. I didn't know that. I was so scared that I rushed to stop and explain. However, my mom was calm after hearing this and just said she wasn't angry and that I didn't have to hide it. I was discouraged and wondered what she had talked to Jason Miller's mom about earlier. When I got to work on Monday, I was surrounded by people just as I entered the office. I thought they knew about it and was feeling weak. Who would have thought that they were all asking when Jason Miller and Laura Sinclair were getting married? Secretary Lamb. You are so close to your boss. You should have heard about it. Right? I was in a bad mood again. Can't you suspect me? Why are you all suspecting Laura Sinclair? After I had finished putting off everyone, I walked into the secretary's office. And Secretary Lee said that the boss was not in. I was just about to breathe a sigh of relief when Secretary Lee added that he had gone to meet with Laura Sinclair. Although I knew that our company had been working with Laura Sinclair and her company recently, I didn't mind hearing that this time. At noon, Liam Todd came over to meet me for lunch. And I was furious when I thought of how he promised to keep it a secret and then trumpeted it. Director Todd, go eat by yourself. I have work to do. That's not good. Simon and I are hairy kids. He's not here today. I have to take care of you and I'll go. There are still people in the secretary's office. I quickly interrupted him. The two of us went to a restaurant near the company together. Liam Todd was careful the whole time. A look of treating a pregnant woman. I put up with it for a long time, really can't stand it. Director Todd. Can you be normal? He's not usually like this. This is not to see that you are pregnant. Take care of pregnant women. Should be. Didn't I say I wasn't pregnant? Aborted? I know. I know. He winked at me and poured me a cup of warm water. I was speechless. But, Secretary Lin, you can do it. Even Simon's mom you took care of? Break up. You liar. You made me lose face. You're really something. I was worried about how to explain to Liam Todd that yesterday was just a joke. When Su Mengio's voice came from the other side of the restaurant, I sniffed and looked over. And there was Yui Yang. Yui Yang? You know him too? He's the son of Simon's driver. Ah. I've met him a few times. Liam Todd responded. You know him too? We went to high school together. Liam Todd was surprised. This is a really small world. You and Yue Yang are even high school classmates. While he was talking over here, he was already arguing over there. You really think I care about you? You are just a means for me to discuss Lin Quinn. I just want to take away what she likes. You think I give a damn about you? If it wasn't for the fact that your family has a few bucks, I wouldn't bother with you. You want to compete with Lin Quinn? Have you ever done that since high school? Now that she's with Jason Miller, she's way ahead of you. There are some fights where two people are fighting, but a third person is embarrassed. I am really convinced. If you want to quarrel loudly in public, why do you shout Lin Quinn so loudly? This is so close to the company. If other employees hear it, I don't want to lose face. Secretary Lin, you used to have a good eye for. Liam Todd revealed the same disgusted expression as Jason Miller. I didn't bother to explain. Back then, I was young and didn't know any better. This matter is really complicated to say the least. In fact, I didn't adore Yue Yang in high school as everyone perceived. I was cold and didn't have many friends. At that time, only Su Mengyao often came to me. And I didn't resist going with her because she was so enthusiastic. But Su Mengyao mentioned Yue Yang to me every day, saying that everyone thinks that Yue Yang and I are a good match, encouraging me to go after Yue Yang, saying that if I go after him, I will definitely succeed. Yue Yang playing football. She had to drag me to see Yue Yang to participate in which club activities. She did not even ask to sign up for me. Some people to Yue Yang write love letters. She also write. Pen also had to write my name. Over time, everyone rumored that I liked Yue Yang. At that time, my impression of Yue Yang was that I was first in my grade and he was second. I don't care what other people think. So I didn't think about clarifying. And Yue Yang's few individual encounters, but also in front of the school gate. I ran into him from the car driven by his family driver. Oh. No. His father drove down. I politely smiled and nodded. The only time is a bit of intercourse. Is the day after the college entrance exams rain. I stood in front of the school. His father has long been parked there waiting for him to come out. Maybe to see that I do not have an umbrella. His father kindly sent me over an umbrella. I later in order to return the umbrella to him. In the graduation party after the college entrance examination specially to find him. But I did not have time to say anything. Just handed him the umbrella actually fell out of a love letter. And under the coaxing of Su Mengyao and Fu Lin, a love letter that did not come from me was circulated by the crowd. Thus, I was forced to become Yue Yang's admirer. Of course, this wasn't the most embarrassing thing. The most embarrassing thing was that after Yue Yang heard the love letter read out loud by the crowd, he looked terrified. Lin Quinn. Don't joke around. I wouldn't dare to accept it. I'll die. This response was later interpreted by everyone one way or another. And it became that I pursued Yue Yang fiercely and scared him. So, after years of graduation, the confession incident about me is still famous. I don't know when Yue Yang and Su Mengyao left, but I was a little annoyed by Liam Todd's persistent questions about my relationship with Yue Yang. I hurriedly ate and went back to the office. Jason Miller hadn't come back yet. And I didn't see him until after work. Is it going to take that long to talk to Laura Sinclair about cooperation? The mood is inexplicably uncomfortable. I never knew I could be so twisted and erratic. When I got home, my mom kept asking me how things were going with Jason Miller. His mom and I have discussed it. How about having the wedding at the end of this year? It's a great way to celebrate the new year. Mom, I'm not pregnant. And I don't have any other relationship with my boss. So don't make things worse. Okay? He didn't pay any attention to me today. There's no relationship. You're sleeping at his house. It's just a misunderstanding. Okay. Since it's a misunderstanding, you'll go on a blind date. You have to get married this year. After being annoyed by my mom for a few days, I ran away from home in the night. I ran away to live with my girlfriend. I really didn't want to listen to her recite her mantra. That's why I say, people can't be too good, or they'll easily attract hate. Look at the people in high school. At this I pretended to be shy. I am very good? The corner of Harry's mouth twitched. Can't say so. Mainly because you look okay. Your grades are also okay, at the same time you still have a stinky face. So it looks very annoying. I see you've been looking at your cell phone. Waiting for a message from someone? No one. I retracted my phone sheepishly. Jason Miller is a workaholic and I've always known it. He's been working his ass off for days now. Ever since he landed the deal with Laura Sinclair's company. He seemed to have forgotten about my little incident with him, and he hadn't even mentioned it since the day I ran away from his house. Our boss is also too good at negotiating. Land's group is even willing to give up 10 percentage points. Alas, 10 percentage points is nothing. I guess this is the two families are going to marry to become a family. When I went out to make coffee, a few employees were gossiping loudly. And I was forced to listen to a few more sentences. Honestly, that day in the restaurant, Jason Miller let me pretend to be his girlfriend pretending to be pregnant to get rid of Laura Sinclair. I thought that he and Land's cooperation to cool. Who would have thought that now not only not cool, but even cooperation. And Laura Sinclair is also a generous concessions? This does not make sense. Can't it be that the two had something happen that I don't know? And made up again? Then what's the point of what I did before? In this case, the clown is me. Sister Lynn Quinn. Your coffee is full. An employee reminded me before I came back to my senses. I absent-mindedly returned to the secretary's office and had just taken my seat when Jason Miller walked up to my workstation. Jason Miller came over to my workstation and knocked on it a few times before I came back to my senses. What's on your mind? I've been calling you for a long time. I stood up with a straight face. I'm sorry, boss. What can I do for you? He froze for a moment. You don't have to talk to me like that. Sit down and talk. I didn't listen. Do you have any orders? He coughed lightly. Do you have time tonight? Everyone around me looked over silently. Is there some work to be done? No. It's that I'm taking you to dinner. There was a pause. A treat for you. No. Boss? It's my duty to work for the company. What kind of boss treats an employee to dinner alone? I didn't think it was a big deal before. I'd be a fool to turn it down for free. But now, I don't like this kind of behavior that can lead to misunderstandings. Actually, I have something to say to you. Boss? If you have something to say, you can say it now. I'm moving tonight. So I really don't have time. Moving? He was surprised. Where are you moving to? That's my personal business. Boss. It's because my mom has been asking me about my progress with Jason Miller every day. And I've been so annoyed that I've decided to move out for a while. But this was the first time in 25 years that I had lived alone. So I was actually a little excited. I didn't have much luggage. And I had my new place organized by 8 o'clock. However, when I went to the nearby convenience store to buy daily necessities, I bumped into Yue Yang. I didn't want to ignore him. But he called out to me. What a coincidence. Lin Quinn. Why are you here? Although everyone has been mocking and laughing at him pretending to be a rich kid in the group lately. And I've been treated as a joke for many years because of him over the years. The truth is, Yue Yang hasn't done anything bad to me. I live near here. What a coincidence. But I haven't seen you before. Did you just move here? Well, I just moved here tonight. While I was talking, I had already finished my payment. And I didn't even notice that the cashier had slipped a small object into my bag in order not to give me any change. I wanted to say goodbye to Yue Yang. But he followed me out with extraordinary enthusiasm and insisted on carrying my bag for me. I couldn't help him. So I let go. It's late. You've just arrived. A girl. It's better not to walk alone at night. I'll send you. I did not refuse. Love to send it. The two of them walked side by side. And when they reached the downstairs, he suddenly spoke. In fact, back then, I didn't mean to reject you. I was happy to know that you liked me. I frowned. What's the point of bringing this up all of a sudden? You now know that I am the son of Jason Miller's chauffeur. So I won't hide it from you. I grew up living under Jason Miller's shadow. He was the son of the high and mighty master's family. And I, just a servant's child. I studied hard to change my fate. I'm quite busy. Why don't you just get to the point? He showed a hint of embarrassment and coughed lightly. Actually, I was going to say that the reason I turned you down back then was because Jason Miller threatened me that if I dared to accept, then he would fire my father and keep me from graduating. He already knew that I had plans to study abroad after college. So if I accepted you, then he would mess up my plans to go abroad. What does he have to do with whether you accept me or not? Why is he threatening you? I didn't understand and was shocked at his outrageous reasoning. I didn't know before. But now I do. Because he has a crush on you and that's why he's using his power to threaten me. I frowned. I didn't even know Jason Miller in high school. I'm just telling you this to let you know that Jason Miller is not a good person. You need to be careful now that you're with him. Don't get hurt. I get it. Here comes the provocation. It's a pity. I was wrong. Jason Miller and I are just subordinates. Not a couple at all. After sending Yue Yang away, I was just about to go upstairs when I saw a figure in the shadows not far away, scaring me. Luckily, he spoke out in time. Are you still in love with him? It was Jason Miller. You scared the shit out of me. He walked up to me grimly. So you rejected me tonight just to be with him? What kind of inference is that? Why is the boss here? I had my mom ask your mom. Did the boss come here for something? He frowned. It's after work. Don't call me that. I was serious. You're still my boss after work. He looked me up and down and made me look all wrong. What happened? What's wrong with you lately? You're talking so out of turn. Do you have a problem with me? I was weak. Turned around and went upstairs. How dare I have a problem with the boss? It's late. I'm leaving. I did not expect him to catch up. Scared me to pull my legs and run. But he was also particularly persistent. Followed me to run together. In the middle of the night. Two people do not go to the elevator. One after the other to run the stairs. Let people see the iron will die of fear. In the end, I was so tired that I leaned against the wall in front of my house. And the things I bought from the convenience store fell on the ground and scattered all over the place. What the hell are you doing? He scanned the ground and was just about to retract his eyes when he saw something and his gaze lurched. I followed his line of sight to look over. This look. I also froze. This. I didn't buy this stuff, huh? Looking at his face slowly condensed. I inexplicably panicked. Panicked to pack up and get up. I guess when I checked out, I took the wrong. I opened the door behind me. Just to go in. But did not want to be his against the door. I am your boss. I have arrived at your home. Do not invite me to go in and sit down. His face was as gloomy as a coming storm. I didn't dare to refuse. And gave way to him. I just moved here tonight. There's nothing to eat at home. And if you want to drink, there's only pure water. He walked through the door and casually surveyed the empty living room. Yue Yang also lives here. Did you move here for him? Why did you mention him again? I didn't know he lived here. Since that's the case, then you should live somewhere else and I'll find someone to move you. He looked at me with a serious look on his face. His eyes were very serious. Somehow, my mind suddenly recalled the incident Yue Yang told me. Ghostly. I blurted out. Yue Yang said that he rejected me back then because he was coerced by you. He froze for a moment. Then raised his eyebrows. So what if it was? I didn't expect him to admit it without even thinking about it. And I was momentarily speechless. Actually, it wasn't really a threat. I just told him that if he rejected you, I would sponsor him to go abroad. In the end, he chose between you and studying abroad. And it's not my fault. Not quite the same as Yue Yang's version. You're questioning me for him now? You're blaming me for ruining your marriage? He slowly walked up to me with displeasure in his eyes. And I took a step back in panic, accidentally bumping into the shelf behind me. I stumbled. And the bag's ID just packed fell apart again. The small box was particularly bright as it came into our sight once again. I subconsciously raised my head to look at him, but glanced into his deep, bottomless eyes. To die? How is it that just by looking at each other? My heart is beating very fast. Fear that he heard my heartbeat. My brain jerked and blurted out. I can't use this thing. So why don't I just give it to you? The words fell the air as awkward silence. 1 second. 2 seconds. He leisurely picked up that hot potato. Walked to me. Since you sincerely send me. That always have to personally accept the effect. Right? What? My nervous heartbeat. In the quiet treacherous atmosphere. Unusually clear. This is not a good time to check the results. I gulped and looked up to meet his eyes. For a long time. Just when I thought he was going to be further aggressive. He changed the subject. It's getting late. You should rest early. Then he left. Taking the little box with him by the way. I looked at the door of the forbidding room. And surprisingly, I was still a little lost. I despised myself. The next morning, I was just getting ready to go to work when I bumped into Yu Yang downstairs, who was preparing to move out. When he saw me, he glared at me indignantly. I'm sorry that you didn't listen to my good advice. But you even told him to kick me out. Lin Quinn. You're so cruel. I don't understand. No head of words. What to say? I didn't bother to talk to him. Turned around and left. Weekend. I went shopping with my hair small. Is a store to choose clothes. Coincidentally, Su Mingyao and Fu Lin came. Deliberately looking for trouble like. We see a piece. They have to buy a piece. Angry hair small rolled up his sleeves and they have to fight. If you can't afford it, don't come in. Why are you acting like a shrew? Su Mingyao mocked. Su Mingyao mocked. Fu Lin also spoke up. Lin Quinn. I heard later that Jason Miller has a fiancée. And his fiancée is the daughter of Lawn Group. Don't even think about marrying into a rich family. You chicken. The words were so harsh that Faye wanted to yell back. But I stopped her. I dragged her outside. However, I didn't expect to run into Jason Miller, who was accompanied by Laura Sinclair. It was as if the two of them were slapping me in the face for showing up at this time. As expected. The jeers of the girls got louder. Jason Miller walked up to me. What's wrong? Looking at Su Mingyao and Fu Lin girls. He guessed something. Someone bullied you? He raised his hand and was about to touch my head in a pretense of intimacy. But I avoided it by lowering my head. His face stiffened for a moment. Fu Lin walked up and questioned. Mr. G. I heard that your fiancée is the daughter of Lawn Group. May I ask if this is true? Before Jason Miller could say anything, Laura Sinclair was surprised first. When was I Jason Miller your fiancé? How come I don't know? At these words, Su Mingyao and Fu Lin froze. You are Laura Sinclair? Laura Sinclair let out a laugh and then looked at them sarcastically. Who the hell are you to spread rumors around? How can we say we're the ones spreading rumors when everyone is talking? Everyone said it? Jason Miller froze for a moment. Seemingly surprised. He looked at me, who was silent, and suddenly realized what was going on, and was a bit annoyed for a moment. Let's talk. He suddenly took my hand and left. Faye was worried and was about to catch up with him, but was stopped by Laura Sinclair. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. It's just a couple of people having a disagreement. Faye looked at Laura Sinclair. Are you really not Mr. J.I.'s fiancé? Laura Sinclair cried and laughed. Of course I'm not. What do you want to talk to me about? I'm in the wrong. Huh? I lied to you before. But Xinya is not my admirer. Let alone my fiancé. In fact, she is still a bit related to me. Her mom and my mom are cousins. The amount of information is too much. I'm a little bit baffled. Then you before. I made a bet with her that whoever is the last one to get married will have to make a 10% profit on the cooperation project between the two companies. So that time Laura Sinclair heard that I was pregnant and her expression was so bad because she was going to lose money So I'm not a clown. I'm a pure tool man. Boss? You don't have to tell me that. Fei-chan was still waiting for me. I turned around and left. He shouts behind me. But there's actually another main reason. I turn around and his clear eyes gaze intently at me. For 7 years, I've fantasized about countless scenarios of how I'm going to solemnly say those words to you. But never today. In this mall. Under these circumstances. He said with some chagrin. However, I guessed that sentence. Yui Yang said that he likes me. Sure enough. I like you. The voice in my heart overlapped with his. And I looked up. Meeting that pair of gazes. Not moving or speaking either. All I felt was my heart beating faster. My breathing heavier. My blood running faster. Jason Miller, he said he liked me. After knowing each other for so many years. It's not like I haven't actually thought wildly about the possibility of him liking me. But I've never dared to hope that it's true. But now he really confessed that he likes me. See, I did not react. Jason Miller, some heart bottomless. I know say out will scare you, Lin Quinn. I do not mean to hide so long. I just want to step by step slowly. But I did not expect. I have been holding back not to say will let you suffer so much ridicule and aggravation. When did you like me? My bright eyes looked at him. He froze for a moment. Reading my answer in my eyes before his eyebrows rose in delight. He walked up to me and tentatively touched my hair. This time I didn't hide. Actually, the night of the reunion, what I said was true. He fell in love with me at first sight when I was a senior in high school. But I didn't see you in high school. But I saw you. I remembered Harry Hollow and dragged Jason Miller back to look for her. Only to find all 4 of them gone from the store. I was about to call Harry. But then I realized that she had tweeted me 10 minutes earlier that she was going shopping with Laura Sinclair. I'm here at the mall today to inspect my work. So since your friend abducted the customer, you can stay with me. Boss? Your intention to make people work overtime is too obvious. Obvious? I've racked my brain over the years trying to figure out how to get more alone time with you. So that's the real reason I've been working overtime all these years? Wrap up all the clothes that this lady was looking at in this store just now. Jason Miller suddenly said to the store clerk. The clerk was shocked and did not react. Just now, in fact, they heard the whole gossip of a few people. So, the fiancé of the chairman of JIS Group is not the one just now, but the one in front of us? I was shocked. What for? To give you to eliminate anger. I don't understand. Later Jason Miller, like crazy, said it was an inspection. But the result is that every store to go in he wants to buy me something. And have someone packaged and sent to my rental house. I stopped all useless. Finally decided to swing accept. Anyway, he does not lack of this money. When he dropped me off at my house, I was about to get out of the car when he locked the door. Aren't you going to invite me up for a ride? The dim street lights outside the car shone in. And I saw a pair of gentle, hot eyes on his half-lit face. It's too late. You go back early. It's only 8 o'clock. Is it late? The main thing is that I'm afraid I won't be able to control it later. Shallow is so desperate. Knowing that he was pretending. But I was still a soft mess inside. Unable to resist coming closer. I was going to kiss him on the cheek. But I was surprised when he deflected his head and the kiss landed on his lips. It's too late to be shocked as a strong hand wraps around my waist to bring me over. And my heartbeat goes haywire. Hands unconsciously gently squeezed his arm. Confined space. The atmosphere gradually ambiguous. Both of their body temperature is climbing. I feel like I'm going to suffocate. And my mom is this time appeared. I'm really impressed. How does she pick her moments so well? Jason Miller and I were like 2 students caught in early love. Obediently following her upstairs. But she didn't say much. She just asked us if we had eaten yet. After we answered yes, she asked Jason Miller how his mom was doing. And Jason Miller said his mom had gone on a trip. Then she asked how work was going. I couldn't take it anymore. Mom, you have something to say. Don't beat around the bush. I know her too well. Then he'll get right to it. She looked at Jason Miller. When are you guys getting married anyway? My heart tightened and I rushed to interject. Mom, that's too soon. isn't it? She glared at me. I'm asking him. Shut up. Auntie. Shallow and I are dating with the purpose of getting married. You can rest assured of that. As for when we will get married. He glanced at me. Naturally, I can't wait. I can't wait to get married right away. However, I have to respect Asahi's wishes. What's going on? Heart thumping again. I'll tell you and my mom when my proposal is successful. Proposal? That's a bit fast. It's only our first day of dating. It's not fast. We've known each other for years. Asami. I was shocked. How did you know what I was thinking? When my mom left? I don't know. And by the time I responded, we were the only ones left in the house. Jason Miller wasn't going to get out and looked straight at me. Your mind is written all over your face. It's not hard to guess. Okay. Go on? You should go back. I was just interrupted by your mom. You'll have to make it up to me. Until the end of the long and intimate compensation. I have long been kissed by him to the watery eyes. Lips red and swollen. It's time. To go back. Right? Still drunk, you're the best to fool. He sighed and took me into his arms again. His forehead resting against my shoulder. Do you know I've been waiting for this moment for 7 years? To be able to hold you in a big, legitimate way? My breath sprays over my bare skin and I itch a little. Unable to stop myself from shivering. I know. You should go. I later realized that the car that came to pick up Yu Yang back then, Jason Miller would occasionally sit in it. While waiting for Yu Yang to get out of school. He would see me every time I walked out of school. It seems that coming to see me after school every day has become a habit for him. On the day the college entrance exam ended, the umbrella was sent by him having his driver send it. Just at that time. The family business pressure. He must have to be strong enough to take over. Cannot be distracted from other. So weighing again and again. The last he quietly went abroad. But those years abroad he still secretly concerned about me. My junior year. He was afraid that I fell in love. Not yet graduated from the country from time to run. And then I know all about it. I said before so coincidentally it. Always can run into him. Originally. All chance encounters are someone who has been planning for a long time. My mom and Jason Miller's mom have been hanging out a lot lately. And they've already decided on a name for the baby. Even though there's no sign of the baby yet. I can't help it. It looks like we're going to have to step up our game in order for them to have grandchildren sooner rather than later. Jason Miller sat on the couch. His blazing eyes gazing at me. It's getting late. When the hell are you going back? He raises an eyebrow and steps closer. Pulling me in his arms, who is ready to slip away, and takes a deep breath. Not going back tonight.